The next thing that occurs is I need you to make me an investigation check based on intelligence. So the normal investigation check. And this is it to see if you can kind of deduce what's going on here. A 9's not great. There are definitely illnesses that are plaguing this area, right? A lot of it is the common stuff. Some of it is a bit more uncommon, but is known to happen in crowds of people with poor hygiene, right? Like, there's probably some wasting sicknesses going around and some whooping cough or, probably a little bit of influenza, like the normal stuff, and you're able to take care of what you're able to take care of, or at least provide information like okay, make sure you do this, drink this, etc., etc. You're able to provide some information, but you don't see any signs of whatever this illness that they're talking about is out here in these people.
Okay, so there's nothing that, like, everything I can identify, there's nothing I can't seem to identify.
Correct, yeah. Okay. Everything that you come upon or, what you're looking for is not able to be found or doesn't exist in these people.
Sure. Okay. Alrighty.
Which kind of makes sense, though, because
they're that people outside,
right,
potentially.
Right, and also, if somebody were to be found with whatever disease they're looking for, they probably would be brought to somewhere.
Which is my next step. But
they probably would not be allowed to just kind of roam freely in the countryside if there was an actual quarantine going on, right?
Right. Well, I was hoping to find, the mother who is hiding her child from having the thing.
Yeah,
but,
totally.
My role is poor, so that's fine.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So, once you do that, do you head back into town?
Yeah, once I feel like I've exhausted all of my possibilities of figuring out what is actually plaguing the city, I would go back, find the others.
Yeah, totally. And so I think that as you enter through the gates, it's about the same amount of time where Chester and Farron are leaving the Gaggle Hut, which is right here at the entrance, right where you are. And so you guys basically probably bump into each other as you're kind of walking down the street. More likely, Aylin's walking down the street. Farron and Chester, you see Aylin and then walk up to her because she doesn't hide from stuff.
Gotta scare the bejesus out of her.
Yeah, you probably sneak up on her and she, oh my, oh my god, you startled me. But yeah, you can totally link up with each other right outside the Gaggle Hut. Do you guys pass any information at this time? Like, Aylin, do you tell them what you've been doing?
Oh yeah, 100%. And I would totally say, the disease, I couldn't seem to find anything out of the ordinary. They must be taking them somewhere. That's my next step to figure out. What have you guys been doing? Blank, stare, and smile.
We've been trying to get some information on the quarantine as well, but no such luck. No one seems to know much of anything.
I look over at the building you just came out of, and I'm like, sure, okay.
It's very clearly the first stop,
like a pawn shop, basically.
Well, it's a tavern, right?
Yeah.
It's just they had to do that weird up and around, go through the attics across the roof bullshit to get to the
sure.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, it's clearly like an overstuffed tavern with.
Taverns are always the best place for information.
He's not wrong.
Always.
He's not wrong.
So have you been tiling yourself out before we have to delve into the dungeons?
Oh, there'll be plenty of time to rest up.
Aye, if you say so.
Okay. Then I think as that kind of peters out and you guys start headed back to the Galleon and the Knoll, Dane is spotted and sends you a message, Hannibal, hey, I found them. Or wait, hold on. Hey, I found them. What do you want me to do with them?
Who all's there?
It appears to be all three of them.
Alright, go to Farron and tell him to Morella wants to talk to Chester and Aylin.
But wouldn't
Don't
it be
show
easier?
yourself.
Would it not be easier if I just told the ones that Morella wishes to speak with that they are requested?
Tell Chester and Farron. Tell Chester and Farron.
But what if they don't tell Aelin?
Don't worry about that.
But what if the task is not completed to your liking? Because
this is my task. I said this is to my liking.
Okay. So Farron, you hear a voice and you recognize it at this point as Dane, and he tells you Morella's looking for Chester and
dead baby ghost.
Yeah, dead baby ghost. That's right. And Chester, you begin to hear voices in the city of Nuln. How does that make you feel?
Yeah, Chester's gone.
Yeah.
No, the voices start just appearing in my head again. Chester just books it.
Yeah. You just vanish into thin air.
Imagine a fully Captain Jack Sparrow type of thing. Hand him out.
Yeah. So yeah, no, you guys are both informed of the message.
Road over here by the gate.
Yeah.
Gone.
Absolutely. Bye. Adios. So the two groups of you eventually end up back at the Galleon and the Knoll, and all 6 of you are together. Hooray!
Yeah.
So it's getting close to the evening time. The crowd in the Galleon and Knoll is bigger than you're used to from your 2-week stint in Nuln. It's probably because there's a lot more people who got kind of trapped here, right? And the Galleon and the Knoll is one of the higher class establishments especially in the lower city. In the noble rings, there are probably a couple of places that are better, but the Galleon and Knoll specifically is a decent establishment. So, upon your arrival in there, what does a group of you do? You see Arkady in there. He's probably got what food he was able to order, because they're probably not running low on food, but they're definitely portioning a bit better than they used to. And he's probably got a drink, and he's probably looking over some documents. And he looks up and he says, "Oh, you're back. Good.
Bless you."
Bless you.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I just simply nod at Arkady. I'm like, "Thank you, Arkady, for getting us the lodgings once more."
He just kind of waves his hand over the paper that he's reading.
And so everyone's there, yeah.
Yeah, everybody's there.
Yeah. Then with that, she'd immediately look over at Aelin, and she says, "Aelin."
Yes.
I need your help.
Clack, 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 clack.
My help? Happy to help. What can I do for?
By chance, do you have a bucket?
A bucket?
Yeah, a bucket.
Will gets inspiration.
All of a sudden, Aelin turns into Agatha.
That actually reminds me of something. Anyway, continue. I'm sorry.
I don't have one at the moment, but I can get one for you. What do you need it?
I need water within the bucket, and I need you to carry it.
Just a drop in the bucket.
Carry it where?
To the... Fuck, what's it called? To the river.
And do what?
Travel with me to the river. We will be alone, of course. This will be late at night when no one's around.
I think Arkady...
Aelin is less enthused by this plan, but as you continue to speak...
Arkady, looks up, and he goes, "Morella, that sounds like a terrible idea. Traveling alone, the two of you, to the river, where we know there is water monster that will probably eat both of your souls, and then, I've never considered myself a smart man, but at least I am not stupid."
It won't be at the... It'd be close to the river's edge, not where the sewers are.
This still doesn't sound like a great idea, Morella.
Perhaps if you told us this plan that you have, it might... Maybe we could assist.
Very well. I need to perform a ritual.
Go on.
Yes.
And for it, I need a bucket of pure water.
Gonna be hard to find that around here.
That's why I asked Aelin to help me in this. She is a priestess. Would she not be able to purify water? And I look at Aelin as I say this.
I can assist you with this, my lady, but I still don't understand why we need to be...
It is important to me.
Oh.
That is why.
Oh, okay. Well, I will assist in any way I can, but I don't understand why we have to go alone. That does seem unwise.
If the others wish to watch, then they may do so, but I simply just asked. Because I'm sure the others wouldn't care. And Chester.
I think... Yeah, Arkady actually goes, I care about you not getting eaten by water monsters, so probably best if we are all there for whatever this is.
Yeah, I'm coming regardless of what anybody says.
That's fine. I don't really care.
We all had a duty to protect you, milady. That is all what we swore our lives for.
I didn't swear anything, but yeah.
She chuckles at that.
I'll be the first to dimension door the fuck out of here if I have to.
But she looks over at Chester. Oh, and Chester. When I'm done with this, I need to speak with you then. Alone.
Okay, Morella? Okay.
Yeah.
I think there's a moment, probably where Arkady looks at Farron and Hannibal and everybody else around the party, and he just shakes his head. He's like, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah, and when he says that, she just simply says, well, until then, I'm going to be in my room for a bit. I need to relax a bit.
Yes, that sounds good. Have fun. We will be down
Is
here
it
preparing for dungeon delve.
So,
I'm gonna
And she starts walking off.
when Morella leaves, I want to ask Farron, what were you guys doing?
We were trying to find information about the city and the quarantine from some of the common folk. But that information wasn't too insightful from what we have already gathered.
Not being asked what she was doing, she interjects. Oh, and I was down by the gate. I was looking into the disease that...
Sure, yeah, whatever, quiet.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, Arkady's probably like, disease... We don't... Hannibal, are you sure we don't want to hear about what the healing angel has found out about disease? That seems somewhat important.
Fine.
Well, it isn't much to tell. I really didn't find anything.
Never mind, I
I
stand
look at
corrected.
Arkady
It was
like,
useless.
yeah, great.
Never mind, I stand corrected. Useless information. Hannibal, I admit my mistake. Next time we go with your plan.
Thank you.
Aelin looks dejected.
Aelin, as we have some free time, why don't I get around to that music lesson that you wanted?
Aelin claps her hands together and she says, "Oh yes, I would love that. Right now? Can we go right now?"
That is what you wish. Someone has to keep her spirits up. She's a cinnamon roll. She needs to be taken care of.
Oh my god. What the fuck?
Currently, Aelin is on Hannibal's shit list, so...
It's true, she did get your stuff taken away.
Listen, you're shady. She has to, she's got to do what she's got to do.
She's got you dead to rights.
I am shady as shit, yeah.
It's true. That's very true.
If you saw me walking down the side of the street, you'd move over to the other side.
Yeah, you definitely would. You're like a pit bull in that regard. For sure, for sure.
So music lesson.
So Hannibal and Chester, you're left with Arkady, who's like taking notes, writing letters, trying to catch up now that he's back in like a major city on all his duties. It's D-U-T-Y or D-U-T-I-E-S,
and then I'm gonna,
by the way.
While we're doing this, I want to talk to Chester a little bit.
Yeah. So what's like? How do you start the conversation? I assume Chester. Maybe you've gotten food at this point, Chester. You're eating.
Yup. Nice fried chicken.
So, Chester, it looks like my research funds have run a little low.
Uh-huh.
I was wondering if there are any jobs that we could do while we're in town.
No.
Zero hesitation.
Damn.
Oh my god, that was too good.
End of conversation.
Chester just goes back to eating his food.
So music lesson.
Yeah.
So Farron, how? So you don't play the harp specifically, right? But you do play other stringed instruments.
Yes. So, I mean, obviously as a bard, I can pick up
Totally.
like most instruments and play them competently, but of course I excel with my lute.
Right. So how are you teaching her? Are you like are you going to like try to compose something and like see how she plays different parts, or because again, like it would probably be hard for you to teach her, like she obviously knows the basics, right? The correct chords to play, that kind of stuff. So are you gonna like try and teach her a song or something?
I think I'm first going to ask her for her to play a song to grasp her level of knowledge.
Okay. So what song are you going to play, Aylin?
I mean, the majority of songs I know come from the church.
Right.
So
it's probably a hymn of some sort.
I pick one of my favorite hymns, and play that.
Yeah, it's a hymn of Shalia, so it's probably light and airy. Probably pretty.
It brings tears to your eyes. Is what it should.
It's probably a pretty
if you're holy of any sort.
Yeah,
which obviously Farron's not, but that's.
Hannibal feels disgust.
It's probably a slower tempo, right? The chords are probably fairly basic with slight alterations throughout the different verses. And Aylin, you don't sing as well, right? You just play?
No, because she usually has like a whole choir that sings for her. Like, so, you know, she kind of never had to learn how to sing.
Right.
Oh, excuse me that we weren't allowed to bring your entire choir with us.
My entire congregation normally sings, so I don't need to, but...
Right, yeah, absolutely. So, is on your character sheet, do you have the harp?
Oh yeah,
thing?
Oh yeah, it's ready to go.
Go ahead and roll that for me. Let's see how well you perform. Kind of cold, right? So you haven't been playing, so
yeah,
it's like your warm-up song.
I might want to use my inspiration for this. This might be a thing.
You fucking people.
I'm trying really hard to impress Farron here, I think, so.
You're gonna use your inspiration?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
You know you're forcing me to use mine.
Oh my god! Wow, even with inspiration.
Yeah. Man.
It seems you didn't realize that in the battles that your harp got really out of tune.
Yeah,
I did not see it beforehand.
It's, right, yeah, it's the first thing you've done today. And the jostling around and like the coming in the gates and the going out and helping people, like you hit a chord and it's just like and it just like is so out of tune and like maybe you get embarrassed or whatever your reaction is. But yeah, it's not great. It's not great. You probably missed a couple of notes because of that. because you're trying to like avoid that chord now because it's like the primary chord throughout the
and
song.
Now it just sounds real strange because that's the the refrain of the song. And then I think I stop at the end, obviously, because I at least see it through. And I look at Fair and I say, "See, I told you I need lessons still. I'm so glad you're here."
Don't worry. I remember in my early days, I was always a pain to get my lute tuned correctly every single time. So I feel your woes, don't worry.
Okay.
Yeah.
So are you going to like help her tune it, I assume?
Yes.
Yeah, cool. So yeah, obviously her skill level is what, like a +2, right? Like that's her skill level, so it's slightly above average. But that was just horrendous. That was painful, probably, for you as a musician. It's like if you've ever played a woodwind instrument and you make the reed squeak, it's the worst thing ever.
Yeah. But why don't I show you how you could become after some years of practice?
Okay. So are you going to play her harp? Are you going to play her harp, or are you going to play your lute?
Why not? I'll play her harp.
Oh, man,
Yeah. Show her how it's done, right?
If I may, of course.
If you're gonna show her how it's done, you better show her on the instrument, right?
Yeah, totally.
So you get your +1, obviously, from Jack of all trades, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's still a +6, because I didn't set up a expertise on lute.
Yep.
So yes, but I am going to use my inspiration.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. Totally. Let's see how hard. I don't think you have inspiration, Will.
I did.
He did.
So I believe that you used that in order to gain the last amount of experience to reach your level.
Oh, that's right. You did.
You were going to give me another inspiration, but
you had already had one. Okay. All right. If you already had one stored, that's fine. Had I known that, I probably would not have offered that to you.
Hence why I kept quiet.
Noted.
Noted.
There's cheaters in every group. Mm-hmm. Noted.
But yes, I need to set a good impression to my core head.
I know who escaping or attacking next.
I hope you fail so bad.
I hope you get double ones.
Yep, go ahead and roll it up. Ooh, yeah, that nails it.
Man, I must feel like a waste of an inspiration.
Inspiration is pretty arbitrary in general, so.
To be fair.
I love it when it's on. I love it when it's on lore stuff, man. Come on.
I will never use it on that when my item is so do or die.
So, Will, you or Farron, you perform a very beautiful tune. Obviously not your best performance that you've ever done, but definitely in the realm of something grandiose. And obviously it's by a couple of factors better than yours, Aelin.
So did you see how I hammered on the string after I did this chord?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, you show the exact chords that you did. Awesome. The way you held it, like tucked in close, or like letting it flow a little bit more. Yeah, totally. So, Aelin, what's your reaction?
Aelin claps, obviously, when he's done. And it's just like, wow, I just wish one day I could be that good. I'm going to take all these mental notes. And she just starts, like, physically in the air writing notes as if she's actually taking mental notes because she's that person. Every time you say something, she totally does that. And we'll remember it forever. So
brilliant.
No, I think it's a perfect place that we fade out, and probably fade in on Morella. Tell us a little bit about what the hell you want to do again, because I didn't catch that. Just explain it to us so we know the logistical situation of what's going on here.
Okay. So, what's going to happen is that Aelin is going to get a bucket of water and purify it. Whether she can or not is not of concern.
Okay.
She just actually, like, just for thematical sake, Marilla just needs a bucket of purified water. Quote,
Sure.
unquote. And they are going to perform a ritual that Marilla wishes to do. Down by the river, so like towards like one of the docks, things like that. Late at night when no one's really around.
Okay. And what's Marilla going to do? Like, I'm asking, like, basically all you need from Malin is to get this bucket, right? And then you're good?
Yeah.
Okay.
And,
so
she
Aelin...
needs to be there, of course, because she's carrying the bucket of water, and that's about it. And then when we get to that scene, we'll get to the scene.
Okay. Sure. Aelin, do you have purified food and drink?
No.
So you would actually have to wait till after a long rest in order to physically do that. But since we don't metagame here, Aelin, would you still say that was something you were able to do?
No, because I don't lie. Okay. But I think that I would try really hard to go find someone who did know how to do it to complete the task anyway.
Okay, cool. Yeah, sure. So,
do people know the fire trick about just burning water?
I mean, yeah, you could totally boil it. But
I feel like
with magical diseases that may not work.
What magical diseases?
This town.
Need I remind everyone apparently that the water is tainted.
It's like yellow.
It's yellowish. It's salt water, first of all.
It has mermaid slime. It's fine.
It's fine.
Yeah,
it's totally fine.
Mermaid slime. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
Poor choice of words.
So, if you want, you could try and boil it. I'm not sure what boiling salt water actually... I mean, I guess technically I boil pasta in salt water, so it just... Okay.
It boils faster.
It increases the...
Yeah.
No, it increases the boiling point, doesn't it?
No.
Science, go.
I think it decreases.
Decreases the boiling point.
And decreases freezing point.
Yeah.
And also increases density. But anyway, continue.
Science, go.
Excellent. So, would you head over to the religious district and so, like, here's the deal. There is probably a station somewhere set up in the religious district of, like, clerics doing this, right? Because, like, if this is the issue and they have a way to purify water, they're going to be doing it a lot.
I mean, yeah, out of necessity for
all
the people in this place.
Out of necessity for the thousands of people that live in this city, they need to have fresh water, right?
So I imagine there's many of these stations set up. So.
It's probably mostly in the religious district because this is clearly a magical thing that needs to be done. Although I'm sure that there are people in the slum districts of the town who are drinking boiled water, for sure. What that may or may not be doing to them, who knows? I guess we'll find out later, won't we?
Aelin tried to find out. But...
I'll just remind everybody this could have been solved before you guys even left this city. So
happens.
Yeah. So you head over there. Do you?
Then somebody had to give me gunpowder.
It's probably like during your lesson you realize, oh, maybe I should go figure out how to get a bucket of purified water. Do you take Farron with you? Do you like say, oh, do you want to come with me to go down and see if we can find purified water?
Yeah, I would offer. I don't know if he would actually care to come, but yeah, I would offer.
Farron, do you remember the buddy system? Because remember, Aelin wasn't here for the buddy system.
Yes,
I'm not aware of the buddy system.
I immediately make sure the buddy system works at all times.
Fantastic.
In fact, I went to find you guys completely by myself, so clearly I do not understand the buddy system.
Yeah, the buddy system is not a thing that you understand. Excellent. So, you begin walking, you and Farron depart the inn. You let Arcady and Hannibal and Chester, I'm sure, know where you're going, but I don't think any of them care about you that much.
Aww.
Love.
Sad face.
Nice.
So, you guys head off towards the religious district. Your fingers are kind of tingly now from playing the harp for, a couple of hours.
Farron's ears are bleeding from that horrible...
Farron is pulling the cotton balls out of his ears that he had in there at some point. And you guys arrive at the religious district, and indeed, yeah, there are stations set up for, like, purifying water, and you can see there's, like, line of people, like, you know, a couple hundred people deep. But you guys have a little bit more right away to go kind of do what you want to do. So do you guys go up to, like, the station, or do you go see if you can make contact with anybody who might recognize you inside the church first?
I think it's customary to introduce yourself to the powers that be of any religious city, and I think Aelin would know that. So prior to doing anything, I think she would go.
So here's the deal: the church that they're doing this at is probably the Church of Shalia.
Right, that would make sense.
Yeah,
so.
It's probably the Church of Shalia. Out of all the deities that are listed here as the human deities and ones that exist within this particular location, Shalia is definitely the one that would be most prevalent in this particular area. And so this is home territory for you, right? Like, in fact, you have even more right away, Aelin, than just being kind of representatives helping out with the crisis, right? You're actually a high priest of Shalia. Like, you actually could walk in and you probably are not the highest ranking individual here, but you definitely outrank quite a few people that are here. Sure.
I would say that probably whoever even runs this place, I'm equal to, if not slightly below. So
right. Yeah, exactly. And this is also not the largest church of all of them. So you go in and you ask to speak with the High Priestess. Most tenants of Shalia are women, obviously. It's generally more inclined women to be of healing and mercy, but there are quite a few men as well. They have paladins, although their paladins are a lot of times more in the line of, like,
they're too aggro for us.
Yeah, I mean, they do have them. There are paladins that follow Shalia, but because Shalia's aspects are, we can look at them here. Shalia's aspects are healing and mercy. They're paladins of mercy, right? Like, they go, they cleanse tainted areas with their, consecration and stuff like that. Or they, they come and make people pass easier. And you're kind of on the healing side of things as a priestess, right? You're on the, we need to heal all the diseases, where the paladins are kind of on the mercy, like, allow people to pass peacefully and make sure that they pass and cleanse tainted areas, etc., etc. So, but yeah, no, here is a high priestess. Let's see, what is her name? Her name is gonna be High Priestess. How about
Sharia?
No. Nelma.
Balin.
It's gonna be High Priestess Nelma. So High Priestess Nelma, you've never met her. You probably know of her, though, seeing as she is the High Priestess of a major city. And probably the same for you. She's obviously probably never met you, but she probably knows who you are. And so when you arrive and you walk in and you do the normal procedure as to, I need to speak with High Priestess Nelma, one of the altar boys runs off and grabs her, and she comes out, and she's an elderly woman, probably in her early 60s. She still kind of walks very straight-backed, with very good posture. She's wearing these long, kind of flowing white robes with the hood pulled up, and it kind of frames her face, which appears to show her age, but being a priestess of Shalia grants you some cool things, like kind of being a little bit immune to aging, although obviously it's inevitable for everybody. And then she has long white hair that's kind of flowing down and spilling out of the bottom of the hood a little bit. And she comes up and she's like, "Greetings. It was a surprise to hear that you were here, Priestess Aelin. How may I serve you today?"
Priestess Nelma, pleasure's all mine. I've heard so much about you. I'm so glad we finally get to meet face to face.
If only it were under better circumstances. I would certainly like it if you would perform a ceremony here. I've heard that yours are quite lovely.
Oh, absolutely. If time permits, I will do such a thing for you. That's the least I can do. I'm so sorry to hear that this gods of disease have decided to descend upon your fair city.
Luckily, with the help of the other clergy and the other deities, we'll be able to quell this menace.
Yes, and while I'm here, if there's any assistance I can offer, just please let me know. Although you do seem to have quite a good setup here. It seems like you are helping, for sure.
I'll admit it's hard with the rivers closed to get more resources, but word has been sent to the other surrounding areas. Hopefully, reinforcements will arrive soon. But enough about that. What can I do for you now? Why have you come?
Oh, it's just a trivial matter based on what you've been dealing with here. I simply need a bucket of water from out front. I will get it on my way out. I just wanted to make myself known and offer any assistance I can. One thing, though, if I may trouble you, what have you learned of this disease here? I tried to learn some from the people at the gate, but I haven't really found anything out of the ordinary.
She kind of takes in the surroundings a little bit. You can tell she's kind of evaluating where other people are in vicinity to this conversation going on. And her eyes fall on Farron. And she actually says, before she answers any of your questions, she says, I'm sorry, we were not introduced. Who might you be?
Forgive me, my lady. I am Fallon McCabe, a companion of Aelin's.
A trusted companion, I hope. And when she says that, she looks at you, Aelin.
Oh yes, he is a good friend. Good friend.
This as well. The disease, well, it's foreign to us. Nothing like we've ever experienced. It's reeks of something the Skaven might do, but it's more complicated than that. The magic is old. In fact, and she kind of this is the part where she kind of leans in. She's like, what you see, the purifiers out there, we can't even be sure they're fully purifying the water. It's so ingrained in the structure that our magic just may not be enough, but there's no way to test it. The detection of this disease is even harder. We've stopped what we can, but there's no way to stop it all, and I fear that it might be spreading downriver towards Altdorf.
That is quite troubling. We have come from that way. We have met some interesting things in the river. Also, she's leaning in, whispering this, by the way.
Yeah.
And I think she just says, well, we shall all do our best to quell this evil.
Yeah, and I think she says, she's like, this is good. It is good that you are here. I hope that your mother and father are doing well. I must say, and forgive me if this is inappropriate, but I was sad to hear about your sister. And then she stops for a moment and she looks at Farron again, and then she kind of composes herself, and your sister.
She nods, it's okay. And she says, yes, they are doing as well as they can. It is still baffling circumstances to us as to why the gods decided to take her from us. But again, we too are doing the best we can.
She nods and she says, they do what they must. We are only their servants after all. But you did ask, and I should be clear. If you see anyone with symptoms, and from what we've been able to identify, it is similar to the failure of internal organs. Your skin will become a yellowish tinge, difficulty breathing, excessive need for liquids in the body. That seems to be the most common signs. Although there are some reports from the slums that, well, some people may be actually going mad.
At that, Aelin kind of pales, because that's clearly the worst type of illness, to her anyway. And I think she just says, I will make great note of this and report back anything I find.
Yes, as you're well aware, Sigmar has a stronger influence here. They are kind of leading this quarantine, but we are providing assistance we can, being the leaders of the healing.
Yes, we all must work together in these troubling times.
Indeed. Well, if that is all, I must see to some more work before I turn in for the night and tell the people at the purifying stations that with my leave you may have whatever you need.
Many thanks, and yes, I don't want to take any more of your time. I'm sure you have much to do.
She kind of gives you like a polite nod and says, may Shalia be with you.
And with you, and she bows deeply.
And she turns on her heel and begins to head off back and to take care of whatever. Obviously, she's got her hands full with all kinds of craziness going on. So I assume you walk out to the purifying station at that point?
Yeah, I think that she would, before leaving, walk up to the front altar, kneel, say a few words, and then turn and leave.
Sure. Let's get a quick brain check on Farron. Have you just been a silent observer this whole time, kind of uncaringly, or is there a thought running through your head, or?
No, I mean, currently, it's like, oh, I didn't know Aelin had a sister and dead one at that. Really should check up on this situation, kind of thing.
Okay, so that was what you took out of the conversation.
Yeah.
Okay.
More
Cool.
than anything.
All right.
She's my new companion. I want to help her.
That's good. I like that.
Since no one else seems to care.
Yeah, no joke.
Damn right we don't.
Just know, I guess, anybody that ever makes a new character is just going to be hated. So, you walk out to the purifying station. I assume you get your bucket of purified water.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. But not taking any more than I absolutely minimally need.
Right. The exact amount to the drop that
Yes,
you were
to the
instructed
drop.
to have. Cool.
Mm-hmm. And also, like, it probably takes forever, Farron. You're probably waiting there for a while because, like, Aelin can't help herself but to, like, step in and help pass things out, and, like, it takes a while.
Yeah, the sun is, like, fully set now, and it's, like, you know, darkness that... It's after the sun is set, but there's still a little bit of light in the sky, you know, and you're just kind of like... but eventually, you're able to drag Aelin away with your bucket of water, and you head back to the inn. To meet with the site, I assume, Marilla, whatever preparations that you've been doing are completed, and you're downstairs waiting for them. And Arcadi's finished his work, and I assume Chester and Hannibal, are you all also going on this adventure?
Yeah.
Just for safety and numbers concern?
Yeah.
Chester.
Hey, Brian. Okay, he's gone.
Gone.
No, I'm here.
Okay.
I'm here, guys.
Are you going on this adventure with them down to the river with a bucket of water? A bucket.
No. I was in the inn with the Arcadi.
No. They've returned there now.
Oh, okay. Apparently, it just cut out, and I missed quite a bit. Well,
That's fine.
Yeah, I'm heading down to the river with them.
Okay, cool. So everybody is kind of strapped up, and Marilla, I assume you lead the way down to the river.
Yep.
And you're presented with the bucket. So what is this ritual you're going to perform?
Yeah. So, when you hand over this bucket of water, Aelin, you can definitely see, like, as, like, Marilla, like, holds out her hands, her hands are shaking. It seems like she's nervous about something.
Is there a problem, Marilla?
Well, and, she looks at you, Aelin, and then she looks at the rest of you, and she's like, it's just, I've never really done this before. And it's just strange, is all.
Okay.
Well, we're following your lead.
Yeah, and so, like, we're at the river, I'm assuming, yes, at
Yep.
this point.
I'm
Okay.
drawing a box for it.
Okay, good. Awesome. That's exactly where I wanted it. So, like, what's the time at this point?
It is essentially nighttime. The sun has gone down. It's kind of that. It's just past the orange portion, so like maybe torches are still being lit, like along the riverbanks, as you can see, and especially along the tower, right? Like the torches are still being lit because it's that close to nighttime.
So the better question is, how many people are out at this time?
Where you are, no, and nobody even really goes close to the river these days for obvious reasons.
That's exactly what I wanted. So, Morella, like, begins, like, she, like, has her suit of armor and things, like, and she's fully strapped. She lays down her spear with her shield on top of it, neatly. And then she, like, begins to take off her helmet and put it down. And she essentially disrobes her armor set very neatly on the ground. And she's now, like, you know, without her armor before, which might be an odd sight for the group, because usually Morella's always in her armor.
I actually assume it's not an odd sight for the group since you've been traveling for like 3 months.
Yeah. Alright. So maybe it's just uncommon sight type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Usually we see Morella in her armor type of thing. And then she kind of, like, you know, gestures for, like, the bucket, like, have the actual bucket in her hands.
Aelin hands it to her. Yep.
Yeah, she takes it and then, like, sets it down on the ground. And then she sighs nervously. And when, like, she, like, looks around the streets, make sure, like, no one else but the group is there.
Yep, totally.
She begins muttering words, a prayer, as she begins disrobing herself.
Okay. I think there's the collective averted gaze from, like, most of the people that are most of your party.
Yep.
Arkadi's probably like, you know, being basically invisible because he's tiny and he's a halfling, like leaning up against a house, like guarding one direction.
Yeah, that type of thing. And she goes bare, like, there is not an ounce of clothing on her at this point, as she takes the bucket and, like, still muttering this prayer, she begins, like, slowly pouring it in, like, not fully of the bucket, but she begins pouring the water on herself bit by bit as she mutters this prayer. And, you know, it seems like she is cleansing herself in this manner. The only thing that is left on her is her necklace. As she begins muttering the prayer, maybe we see the symbol in the pendant, the bear claw that shines a little bit as she begins muttering the prayer as she goes through this. And eventually the bucket, you know, all the water is out of the bucket. And she mutters a few last words, and her last words is, "O great Father, bless me one last time with your strength, for I am to venture in the depths, to venture forth into this unknown peril. I need all of your strength to keep my friends alive and my children safe. Please, I beg you." And then she she looks at the others, and she's definitely more, like, at peace. She's not as nervous as she begins, like, you know, putting back her clothing on, things like that. And she's like, well, as she, like, begins putting on her clothing, she's like, that's it. There's nothing else that we need to do here. Meanwhile, the entire cast is fucking silent because they're not sure what to say at this point.
I think Arkadi, honestly, he turns around and he's like, okay, let's go get some sleep now. And just, like, begins walking back to the galleon in the knoll.
Yeah. And then there's a chat that I want to have with Chester then, before we pass over the night.
Okay. Alright.
So
you guys arrive back at the galleon in the knoll. Everybody's turning into the respective areas. I assume you find Chester alone somewhere downstairs, perhaps sitting in a dark corner, being Chester. Like,
it is a very vibrant corner. Okay,
it's very bright, so Chester is a black spot in the brightness.
Yeah, of course. So, Morella, like, again, not in armor. She goes to Chester. And what is Chester doing? Like, is he, like, sitting at, like, a table? Is he...
He's eating more food. That first piece of fried chicken was definitely not enough.
Yeah, okay. So, like, she sits down.
You're eating seconds in the...
And she's like, may I join you?
Seems good.
Yeah, she's like, may I join you, Chester?
You can do what you want, Morella. I mean, it's a table with some chairs. Go ahead.
She nods and she sits down, and maybe she, like, notices, like, there's, like, what the fuck is it called? A big container of wine or ale or whatever. She pours herself a glass and drinks some of it, and she says, so, Chester, there's a question that I've been meaning to ask you for a while now.
I'm listening.
Piece of chicken falls out of mouth.
Why are you with us?
What do you mean, why am I with you?
I am asking you in earnest. Why are you with us? You have no real ties with us. Hannibal has his reasons to be with the group. Farron belongs to Willie Petrov, and Petrov wishes to be on my good side. Aelin has her reasons. She says that she is doing so in the name of the Emperor, which I don't disbelieve, but I don't think that's the whole truth. Why would... There's just something odd about the Emperor sending only a priestess towards me. But that's another story. Anyways, but you, Chester, you have no motivation. You have no reason to stay with us.
I mean, you're looking far, far too deep into this, Morella. It's
I mean, perhaps I am, but if there is any reason, I would like to know it.
It's more of a coincidence. We're just heading in the same direction, Morella. I haven't finished killing those rats that gave my friend Vi some problems.
Alright, but staying with me might prolong that path for you.
Well, if it does, then it does. We'll just have to see how it goes and deal with it when it comes, won't we?
Right, I'm just saying, Chester. You don't have to stay with us.
Morella, I've never had to stay with you.
Of course, Chester. I just find it odd that you are still with us.
I mean,
you have all the more reason to not be with us, yet you choose to stay with us, is all.
I can leave if you want me to. It's not a big deal.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying you always have the option to leave. The others, not really so much. They're tied for more deeper reasons.
That's how it's been from the start, Morello.
Alright, Chester. Tell me, can I have a piece of that chicken?
No.
And then perfect time to fade to black and take our break.
Yep.
Cool, awesome, and we'll start in the morning with news. I'm sure of something going on.
Indeed.
Man, people just want pieces of Chester.
All right, stream. We're gonna take a quick break.
Really? She's been wanting to ask you.
I forgot to say, be back in 10 minutes. We're gonna take a quick break, quick little 10-minute break. Feel free to stay tuned. Appreciate everyone being here today. I hope you guys are having a ton of fun. And yeah, we're gonna take a quick break. I'm gonna turn on some music. See you guys in a few minutes. Bye.